It's no great secret that kids love to play Fortnite, even if it means getting into trouble at school. However, you could say the game is having a big impact on the world of education. Today, we're going to tell you about some of the ways in which it's doing exactly that. Before we begin though, subscribe to The Gamer and ring that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here are some crazy ways Fortnite changed school and kids forever. Fortnite Degree. It used to be, and when we say used to be, we're talking about the Middle Ages, that there were 3 things you could study at university. You could study medicine if you wanted to be a doctor, you could study law if you wanted to be a lawyer, or you could study theology if you wanted to be the Pope. When the Renaissance and its overlooked spin-off, the Age of Enlightenment, came along, it all changed for the world, and by world, we hate to say it, we largely mean Europe. Now, people could study the classics, they could study the sciences, and they could study the arts and humanities. Move forward to the 21st century, and now you can study just about anything. When we say anything, you'll probably be pleased to hear anything includes video games. A degree in video games doesn't involve playing them for 3 or 4 years. Trust us, we kinda wish they did, but they don't. These are serious academic subjects involving computing, marketing, and events organization. However, one university offered gamers something which caught our eye. Ashland University. It's in Ohio. They put out a call offering scholarships to Fortnite players. You see, esports is a big deal outside of the casual video gaming world. They've really crossed over and reached out to the sort of people who, back in the day, wouldn't have played video games. So it kind of seems like a natural progression to see Fortnite treated like football, basketball, and lacrosse as a university sport. Ashland is offering a pretty sizable $4,000 scholarship to 4 top Fortnite players. In return for this, they'll have to take on a pretty tough regime. For instance, they'll have to make sure they get a good grade point average or risk being booted out of college. They'll also have dedicated practice time, as well as sessions where they have to study what their upcoming opponents have been doing and identify certain strengths to prepare themselves for and find weaknesses they'll be able to exploit. The coolest thing is that Fortnite isn't the only esport team Ashland has either. No, our successful Fortniters, if that's even a real word, will be joining League of Legends and Overwatch players in their faculty. Dance band. Sometimes, it's easy to make a mistake about something. We can perceive something in a way that it isn't and was never intended to be perceived. It's okay, it's normal, it's natural, and it happens to everyone at one point or another. However, there's one situation where someone has got something seriously wrong, and it looks like just about everyone was calling them out for it. And guess what? It involves Fortnite. Yes, with the game being a legitimate worldwide craze right now, people are just queuing up to hate on the Battle Royale game. One of our favorite examples involves a school in England and how the school's principal got Fortnite way wrong and ended up getting called out on it by parents. In the town of Ilfracombe, Devon, in the southwest of England, kids at Ilfracombe Junior School, which caters for pupils aged 7 and 11, started following the Fortnite trend. They did this by flossing, doing the dances victorious gamers do when they win a round or get an epic kill. Of course, Fortnite's popularity means flossing has been adopted as a goal celebration by a number of soccer players, including Tottenham Hotspur and England international Dele Alli and Real Madrid and Croatia international Luka Modric. But evidently, it wasn't sporting stars the youngsters were getting their moves from. No, it was obviously Fortnite because, hey, it's always video games' fault. So, because some kids were apparently being intimidated by the dance, the school's head teacher, Catherine Cox, wrote to parents telling them about her concerns. She said she wanted the school to be one in which human beings treat each other with kindness and appreciation. And because Fortnite apparently promoted killing, parents should be careful. Oh, and apparently one of the dances is called the Nazi dance? What? Not only is Ilfracombe a lovely town and a good place to spend your summer holiday, it appears to be full of parents with a fair amount of common sense. They took to social media and slammed Miss Cox. One mother said her child, who was 8 years old, didn't even know what Fortnite was. She just liked to dance and even had shown her mom the moves. Another parent said, sadly, bullying happened and it was absurd to blame it on video games. Fortnite at school. Schools, like pretty much anywhere in the real world, have rules. Sometimes they're completely sensible, like not fighting in class. Other times, they're pretty petty, like having to go up one staircase and down another. Whatever you think of them though, they're there, and they're kinda a big part of the world of education. We guess kids need to have guidelines in some way, shape, or form. In the modern day, one rule which most schools follow is banning cell phones during class, and we pretty much agree with this one. You're supposed to pay complete attention in class, and having a mobile phone with you is going to leave you with a bit more distractions than you actually need to have. Despite this, though, kids are naturally resourceful and will always try to find ways to get around the rules. Heck, adults do it too if we're being 100% honest. So at several schools, there appears to be cases of what can only be described as phantom Fortniting. Yes, despite not being able or allowed to play the game during the school day, kids are somehow managing to go outside the guidelines. Okay, we remember sneaking our Game Boys and Game Gears into school back in the 90s, but it was a bit harder to keep them hidden from teachers. Now though, there are reports of kids going into class with a battle royale session on the go. One teacher, Nick Fisher, made a bin for his kids to put their phones in, saying it was a Fortnite mobile bucket. Okay, it was also a PUBG mobile bucket, but we're pretty sure which game most of his students were trying to play. Mr. Fisher of O'Fallon, Missouri, said he thought the reason Fortnite was so popular among his kids was because of social media. Another teacher, Priscilla Cullen, spoke of another side effect of Fortnite fever. She said her school allowed kids to have their mobile phones with them during the lunch break, but so many of them were using them just to play Fortnite rather than socialize with their peers. Anyway, it's pretty clear. Fortnite is a massive deal, and it's also clear that schools are still trying to catch up. Fortnite is educational. In Wales, which is in the UK for all you geography haters, there are some educators who are looking at taking a different approach. Rather than trying to stop kids from playing Fortnite, why not do something to harness its power and get youngsters to learn something? This is the concept posed by education specialist Paul Howard-Jones. Professor Jones, who worked as a school inspector in Wales before crossing the River Severn to become a lecturer in neuroscience and education at the University of Bristol, has been doing his research into the role of technology in teaching, and he's come up with an intriguing idea. Luckily, it doesn't involve students running around laying waste to everything. Professor Jones says teachers can, potentially, learn from the world of video games. Kids certainly shouldn't be banned from playing Fortnite because he says it's an important social experience for today's teenagers. Instead, teachers should see about potentially gamifying lessons. It's a case of taking certain aspects of a game and inserting them into a lesson. This will make the lesson more interesting and, in turn, will get kids learning more. He also says parents and teachers should avoid demonizing technology. As Fortnite fans, we can only agree with him. Back to school. The summer. It's usually hot and it's often relaxing. Well, it certainly is when you're a kid. That spell in the middle of the year where, depending on where you were, you had anything between 6 weeks and 3 months away from the troubles and tortures of the school environment. You could do anything you wanted. Well, maybe not anything you wanted, since we never got to take that day trip to the moon we were always dreaming about, but you get the general idea. We could ride our bikes, play sports, chill out, and best of all, play lots and lots of video games. It really was blissful. What parents know, though, is that teachers find out, especially when teachers have children of their own. This is almost certainly what happened at one school in the United States. At Riverbend Middle School in Virginia, there's a school sign. The notice said there would be a Fortnite detox, and it was going to start on Monday at 8 a.m. Of course, this was the exact time the school year started up, so people who had got fed up with their children playing the game breathed a sigh of relief, while the same kids just let out a sigh of disbelief. With such a cool thing, it was basically inevitable that other schools would come up with the same idea as Riverbend. Well, either that or they'd rip it off completely. One notable example was outside the gates of Strong Vincent Middle School in Pennsylvania. They put up a sign saying, "Enjoy your last round of Fortnite, see you Monday at 8. The only problem was that they spelt Fortnite with night, like N-I-G-H-T, at the end instead of N-I-T-E, which isn't incorrect since it's actually spelt like that in the English language, but it's not the same for the video game, and kids took notice. The teachers later changed it and apologized, saying that they were old, but we don't think that's a very good excuse. And there you have it. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you at school because of Fortnite? Did we leave any good ones out? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to The Gamer for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.